Hello, you're on with Scott.
Scott, I have you have got you have so much knowledge. I have learned so much from you. I look every day forward to see your show. Um, the question I have for you is, how come Palestinian people are they just nobody come to their rescue? I mean, I'm very. I guess I really just don't get it. It's like nobody wants to help them out.
It's
Okay. Why
the
doesn't
best
anybody come to the
question
rescue?
one can ask. I mean, it's the most relevant question. It's the most obvious question. You know, when you had Somali children, Kenyan children, Somali children dying in the 1990s, late 1980s, 1990s, all it took was one photograph on the cover of Time magazine or Life magazine, and billions flow in. We landed Marines in Somalia to deliver humanitarian aid to prevent these Somalians from dying. Anywhere there's a catastrophe, human tragedy. Kosovo, man, we couldn't let those Kosovars, suffer at the hands of the Serbians. We had to intervene, go to war, over and over and over again. Ukraine, we got to help the Ukrainians against those evil Russians and all this. Here, the Palestinians have genocide being committed, literal genocide. I mean, it's not even a disguise. The Israelis aren't even pretending otherwise. They're just, yeah, we're doing it. No one's coming to their help. I mean, there's talk. Some nations like Russia say the right thing. China's doing a very admirable job in front of the International Court of Justice. I think the Chinese were remarkable in what they were saying today, that Palestinians are occupied people, and they have an inherent right of resisting occupation. And Israel has no legal right to say self-defense. Israel has no right to say we have to do this for self-defense. There is no right. The Chinese are 100% correct. I'm just surprised at the Chinese saying this, but it's the truth. Nobody is on this. I mean, Israel has no legal, moral justification for what they're doing. And yet we have 1.6 million people stuffed into Rafah, and everybody knows Israel's getting ready to move in there. They're bombing them every day, killing these civilians. And these are pure civilians. The Israelis are just bombing them because they're trying to drive them out of Gaza. Literally a war crime, genocide, and no one's doing anything. Nothing. I mean, people keep saying, Ritter for president. Well, I tell you what, if I were the president of the United States, I'd put those aircraft carriers right there. We'd be parking our airplanes over Israel. I'd say Air Force is grounded. You're not flying again. And then I'd come in with my helicopters and I'd shoo your tanks out of Gaza. And then I'd follow up with Marines and occupy the place and say, Israel, you're not welcome into Gaza. Gaza is protected territory. America will not allow you to commit genocide because America has sworn never again. Because of the Jews getting killed by the Nazis, never again. And yet it's happening again. Jews are killing the Palestinians, never again. I mean, come on. But Egypt has never supported the Palestinian cause. Jordan has never supported the Palestinian cause. Syria has been half-hearted in support. Saudi Arabia has never supported them. The Gulf Arab states have never really supported them. They've provided some coverage, but not, genuine. Hey, the Yemeni, God bless the Houthi. I mean, again, the Houthi, amazing. These people have been getting the snot pounded out of them by a U.S. Air Force flown by Saudis, but dropping American bombs from American airplanes using American intelligence since 2014. And instead of saying, guys, you asked too much of us, we can't be expected stuff, the Houthi were like, we're here. What do you want us to do? Shut down shipping? Shut her down. They're going to bomb you. We don't care. We've been bombed for 10 years. Bring it on. We don't care. We're going to continue sinking ships, and we're going to get better at sinking ships. And you know what? Look, the Biden administration is coming out saying this bombing thing's not working. No kidding. It was never going to work. It didn't work. So the U.S. is thinking we have to come up with another approach. Well, you know what the approach is? Demand a ceasefire in the Gaza tip the Israelis. Get the fuck out of Gaza. Bring in humanitarian goods and generally support the creation of a Palestinian state, free and independent, that never again has to operate under the shadow of Israeli aggression and occupation. But the U.S. isn't going to do that. And so the Houthi will continue to go. Whether Hezbollah the criteria will be reached that they will intervene, we have yet to see. Iran, who knows? But nobody supports these people. Nobody supports them. There's a lot of talk. But at the time when you have 1.6 million, everybody has these wet dream fantasies of what we should have done with Auschwitz. Man, when we found out that the Nazis were killing the Jews in Auschwitz, we should have sent our bombers in there and dropped, paratroopers in there and rescued the damn thing. We should have dropped food. We should have done something. We didn't do anything. Okay. Maybe there's an argument to be made there. But there's 1.6 million Palestinians stuck in Rafah getting bombed every day, and nobody's doing a damn thing. Where are the bombers coming to flatten Israel? Where's America telling the Israeli Air Force, you take off, we ground you permanently? I mean, this is what needs to happen. Israel is a criminal regime, not just a criminal regime. They are the personification and manifestation of evil. It is the definition of evil, everything they're doing, though they don't even hide it anymore. They are senior ministers come on TV and say, it's good that we're killing these people. Our grandchildren will be so proud of us when we tell them that we killed Palestinian children. They're bragging about it. This is the kind of stuff that any other country in the world did this, man, they'd be shut down, sanctioned to death. And America's just like, Israel, what? No. I mean, watch John Kirby. Watch, I forget who the other State Department guy is, Miller. Watch the girl that hangs out behind the podium at the White House. They can't answer these questions. They just make stuff up. They dodge it. But again, Russia initiates a special military operation, genocidal operation, murder. Boom, we're going to sanction. International law cannot stand for this. Israel commits actual genocide against the Palestinians. Problem is, and this is the God's honest truth, Palestinians are brown. They're Muslim. They're not humans in the eyes of the Americans or many Europeans. And that's what's really going on here. This is racism in the extreme. When we talk about a Jewish-controlled media here in America, this is one of the byproducts of it, the dehumanization of people that Israel is opposed to. And the Palestinians, they ain't white like us. They're brown, and they worship the wrong way. And therefore, it's easy to dehumanize them and easy to forget about them. They just become statistics. I mean, the death is so rampant in Gaza anymore. It's sort of like we've become, fatigued with dead Palestinian babies. Because, every day there's
outrage fatigue.
more.
Outrage fatigue. Is that what you mean?
Pardon?
Outrage fatigue. Is that the term you have in mind?
Yeah, basically we can't get more outrage because it's just basically we're
Yeah.
just exhausted by it. We're exhausted by it. And then we're just human. We're sitting here. Our government won't do anything, so it doesn't make any. We tried the demonstrations, tried calling people, nothing happened. Hell, they got a congressman who said, "Kill them all, and he's still in Congress. You got another congressman that wears the uniform of the Israeli Defense Force in Congress. And so we sit here and we watch all this stuff, and you either go insane, which is really, if you're a moral person, you will go insane if you focus on this too much, because what's happening there is just crazy bad. Don't listen to the 6-minute tape of a 5-year-old, Hind Rajib begging to be rescued as the tank comes in. The tank comes in that kills her. And she talks about the tank coming in. The tank is closer. The tank is very close. I'm scared. Please come get me. Please come save me. 5 years old, surrounded by the rotting corpses of her uncles and her cousins, and she's scared to death. And the Israelis used her as bait to lure in 2 paramedics who, when they got there on the route that the Israelis pre-approved, killed the paramedics and left her to die. This is what we're dealing with, people. And this isn't a one-up. This isn't it's just, those are just bad. No, this is their whole approach. These Israeli soldiers are sick. They're in there killing. They go in and they kill the civilian family. They kill the wife, the daughters there. and then they go through their bedrooms while the bodies are bleeding out, and they take the lingerie and they put it on, they pack it up, and they're taking video. These are sick people. I mean, you know, if you saw, if someone did a war movie about World War II showing Nazis doing this, at the point in the movie where the American soldier comes in and shoots the Nazi, people cheer because evil was killed. That's what needs to happen to these people. Evil needs to be, but who's going to do it? Hamas? Well, they're trying. New York Times just came out with a very interesting thing that, Israel, we've taken over northern Gaza. U.S. intelligence. Now there's 5,000 Hamas guys underneath the tunnels you can't find that are popping up and killing you every day. You haven't taken over northern Gaza. There's even more Hamas people in the middle part, Khan Yunis, and there's a whole bunch of Hamas people in the south, all in tunnels that you can't control. Israel's lost this war, but the guys on top are so frustrated by losing this war that they're committing atrocity. Look, we saw it in Vietnam. And the reason why I bring this up is this is what's happening to the Israelis. They're in Gaza and they can't defeat Hamas. So they're taking it out on the civilians, but their government is also encouraging this because the government wants to depopulate Gaza, kick all these people out so that there are no Palestinians in Gaza. The problem ceases to exist. It's, again, violation of international law. Everybody knows it, but nobody's doing anything about it. I think what they're trying to do at the International Court of Justice is to get the court to come in and actually pass some binding rules that obligate people to do things like boycott Israel, sanction Israel, and maybe even authorize the use of force against Israel. I'll tell you what, you authorize the use of force, I'll volunteer to go in and kill these son of a bitches that are committing crimes like this every day. And the whole world should volunteer. They should make an international legion to go in there and slaughter the IDF that's perpetrating the crimes against the Palestinians. Somebody's got to do it. These people are evil. And when it's done, all these little idiots that took their selfies and posed and all this to torture, hunt them down and kill them or hold them accountable to the rule of law the way we did Nazis. These are criminals. These are genocidal maniacs. We have to stop pretending that the Israeli Defense Force is like the American military. It's it's a dishonorable force of brutal thugs who are raping, pillaging, committing genocide, and they must be held to account. They must be, or else none of this matters. We're not, it's ridiculous what's going on right now.